Do you suffer from anxiety when you're not with your phone? Do you feel dumber when you don't have your phone on you? Well, a recent study shows that you're not alone. When a group of participants had their phones taken away and asked to perform simple cognitive tests like solving a word search, they performed worse than they did when they had their phones on them. Even worse, if their phone rang in the other room, their heart rate shot up and their blood pressure went through the roof. Does this make you guys feel better about yourselves and your relationship with your cell phone? How do you react when you don't have your phone on you? Dan, why don't we start with you?
Well, it's kind of funny. Actually, over the last 3 months, I've been weaning myself off having my phone with me everywhere I go.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I've had to, because there was a time, I remember it distinctly, when I left my phone somewhere. It was at a store or a Starbucks or something.
And you
And
just
I got
start
out.
crying.
Well, no, it's like I got that shot of anxiety, like where you pat your pockets down trying to find your phone, and like it wasn't there, and like immediately I just freaked out, and I stopped in that moment and I said, "This is obviously a sign that something is wrong."
Well,
I mean,
see, for me, that feels a little different. Like that's like leaving your wallet somewhere. There's so much information on your phone
that
that
is true.
that's a little, I don't know, like a security breach for me. Like I think most people would have that kind of thing, But I will say that I've experienced that same level of anxiety when I leave my phone at home and I
Oh,
leave the
wow.
house and I'm like, oh, I don't have my phone on me. well, it's at home, and then it kind of subsides to like, God, now I'm just going to be bored for like the rest of the day. Like, have you ever tried to commute, like taking the subway for an hour without looking at anything or without listening to anything? It is really hard.
It's boring.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that 35-second walk from my upstairs to my downstairs office is really horrible now that I leave my phone somewhere. I can't handle it.
Lewis, what about you?
I wouldn't say I get anxious or that my blood pressure rises, but I definitely feel disconnected. Like a lot of times, if I just don't forget my phone. If I'm going from like the bedroom to the kitchen to the living room, it's on me. It's
Right.
always on me. It's like an extension of me.
Yeah.
To the point where even something as simple as going downstairs to like, to check UPS or FedEx or delivery, my phone comes with me. I just don't leave it. It's with me constantly.
Oh.
Wow. Now, have you noticed, have you guys gone on that Google app that, like, traces everywhere you've been?
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I've noticed that since I've been leaving my phone at home, it's like, well, obviously, since
It
that's
still
what's
knows.
tricky.
How does
It
this
does.
still know?
I know it keeps looking for me. It's like Wall-E, that cartoon. Keeps going around the house, Dad, Dad.
My wife does point out that I use my phone a lot, so I guess I do kind of have an attachment to it. And my answer is always, but it's useful, and I'm looking things up, even when I'm just twittering or,
Right.
Right.
whatever. So,
I could see this getting worse because now that phones have like, activity trackers and calorie burning apps and stuff like that,
Oh, right.
you're like, oh, I'm gonna walk from the bedroom to the kitchen. I want to make sure those calories get counted.
Right.
You're always
Those
gonna have-
steps.
Yeah, I want to make sure those steps add up so that I could get like the, whatever badge or something like that.
and it's going to get worse as well, and maybe harder to see what is a reasonable amount of anxiety once we start using our phones to pay. Like with Apple Pay, if you leave your phone at home, that means that you can't buy breakfast, you can't buy
Oh.
lunch, you can't do anything. Like, what if you're stuck? You need to buy something. So, like, is that an unreasonable anxiety to have for leaving your phone somewhere or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, it's kind of like like you talked about earlier, it's like leaving your wallet somewhere.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like you don't have the ability. I mean, since everything's going,
Right. So it
on
won't be
service
so
payments.
weird to feel this kind of anxiety when you leave your phone. So really what we're saying is we need the future to get here so that our anxiety about
Yes.
leaving our phone is
Yes.
normalized. I don't know, but to address the other point, do you guys feel dumber without your phone? I do know that there have been situations where like we're sitting around and someone will be like, oh, what's the name of that guy? And I won't have my phone on me and I'll be like, I can't remember without my phone, but does that mean that I feel dumber without my phone? I don't know. What do you
Right.
guys?
I tend to small tasks become harder. Like, figuring out the tip on something, like in a restaurant, quickly take out the phone. Oh, okay, it should be like, whatever, blah blah blah. Without the
Right.
phone, they're like, oh crap, what
Right.
should we tip? What?
I
Just
have
leave
also
them
noticed
30
that
bucks. It'll cover it. 30 bucks.
I have also noticed that I do get kind of distracted when I don't have my phone on me. Like if I'm having a conversation, like there will come a moment where I'm just like, "Where's my phone?" And like maybe that's what they talk about, like this cognitive misstep that happens. Like part of my brain is working out where my phone is, so I'm not really in the moment. I don't know.
Right.
I guess what we've just decided is that we're all awful people.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Dependencies
I
and
think so.
can't have interactions with others without them.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah. Well, that's our 2 cents. What's yours? Are you addicted to your phone? Do you suffer separation anxiety when you don't have your phone on you, even if it's just in the other room? Tell us about your dependencies in the comments below. And if you want to get into a cell phone relationship/dependency, head over to dealnews.com and search for smartphone, and you'll find the best deals on the hottest smartphones. That's dealnews.com and search for smartphone. For DealNews.com, along with Luis Ramirez and Dan Ledbetter, I'm Jeff Savagy. Goodbye.